Okay, time for part 2 of our look at Barcelona's new golden generation, whether from La Masia or elsewhere. If you haven't seen part 1 yet and are wondering where most of the heavy hitters are, make sure you check that video out, or you could watch this video first and go back to it later. Doesn't matter to me, either way, it's available here on the channel. But enough time wasting, as I said, you can check out part 1 for some of the other players, because with this, part 2, we're getting things started with Inaki Pena. We returned to Spain, but not to Catalonia, because Inaki Pena was born in Alicante, which is south down the coast from Valencia. He played for his local side Alicante CF, starting at the club at age 5, and moved to Villarreal in 2009 at the age of 10. 6 years in their academy, and he continued the journey up the coast to Barcelona, joining the Catalans in 2015. At 22, it might be now or never for Pena, but with another young keeper on this list coming up behind him, well, he's still sitting third on the first team depth chart. He's a terrific shot stopper and good with the ball at his feet, and whether or not his future rests in Catalonia, I think he's going to be a fine keeper no matter where he winds up. Next up is the longest tenure member of the Blaugrana of this group. Oscar Mingueza is also 22 years old, and he was born in Santa Perpetua de Mogoda, about a 30-minute drive north of the Camp Nou. So it's not hard to imagine how he was spotted and brought to the Masia. He arrived in 2007, and unlike some of the prodigies on this list that were always playing up a level, he always featured at his age group or behind, either as a defensive midfielder, center back, or outside back. Alongside a few of the earlier names on this list, he won the UEFA Youth League in 2018, moving to Barca B the next season, before making his first team debut in November of last year in a 4-1 win over Dinamo Kiev in the Champions League. I've said it once and I'll say it 1,000 times. I watched him for 4 years with plenty of skepticism about his first team future, but he has more than proved me wrong. Maybe not as a starter, but Oscar Mingueza is certainly good enough to be a squad player, an important part of a winning side at FC Barcelona. And speaking of starters, Ronald Araujo is the one South American on this list. Since he signed with Barca B, it's always debated on whether or not that technically qualifies him to be called a La Masia graduate. But since South Americans can't come until 18, I don't mind giving some credit to Garcia Pimienta for getting him up to speed. Even in his native Uruguay though, he still had to work his way up to the big leagues. Born in Rivera to a Brazilian mother, he started with local side Huracan de Rivera before being discovered by first division side Rentistas, and moving there in 2015. After a year in their academy, he was handed a first team debut in September of 2016. The next summer, he made the slight step up to another first division side Boston River, debuting for them that September. I say slight step up because at time of recording in the aggregate table, Boston River is 14 of 16 in the Uruguayan first division, and Rentistas is 15 of 16. 1 year at Boston River, about 30 appearances in total, was all Barca needed to see. They signed him in August of 2018. That October, he made his first team debut, getting sent off in 13 minutes against Sevilla. Thankfully, first impressions don't make a career. Time again for another well-known story, that of Nico Gonzalez and the son of Super Depor legend, but star, Fran Gonzalez. Fran Gonzalez played for Super Devo, that's Deportivo La Coruña for the youngins, back in their great years. Nico was born in A Coruña, almost at the peak of that Super Depor side. His father in total made 380 official appearances, winning 2 Copa del Rey trophies, 3 Super Cups, and a Liga title. He was an industrious left midfielder, only scoring 35 goals for the first team. But 2 of his most important career goals came for Spain to help them qualify for Euro 2000. But back to Nico, he would go to training with his father while playing for local side Montañeros. Second generation players are often noticed before others, and Nico was no different. While playing for Montañeros, he scored a brace against Barcelona in the Abusa Youth Tournament, and at the request of his parents, he was slowly integrated into Barca's academy. He appeared at 4 tournaments at the age of 9 for the Catalans, before making a full commitment and moved to the academy at the age of 10. He worked his way up, usually playing in the level above, also captaining the Cadet A, and he stayed in Catalonia even though he had a number of offers throughout the years to go elsewhere. Like many of you, I'm happy he stuck around. One who didn't stick around but is very much back is Eric Garcia. Born in Martorell, to the northwest of the city of Barcelona, Eric Garcia joined the academy as a 7-year-old in 2008, regularly captaining sides that included Ansu Fati or Nico Gonzalez, depending on the year. Garcia was always a great leader in the academy and considered the best center-back prospect since Piqué. In 2017, he moved to Man City though, choosing not to renew with Barca. He immediately captained their U18s and played for the U19s in the UEFA Youth League. His first taste of the first team came in 2018 during the preseason tour in the United States. It was in December of that year when he made his first team debut in the EFL Cup and his Premier League debut the next September. As many will know, he got a bit of time in the 2019-20 season, ending the league campaign as a starter next to Emre Laporte. but he wanted to return to Barca, coming back on a free transfer after rejecting a contract extension. Believe it or not, there was a time when Eric Garcia was the most talked about prospect on this list. But even at the age of 20, it's about time when he takes that leap and shows culés that he can have the same level that he does under Luis Enrique for Spain at Barcelona. And let's wrap it up with another 20-year-old and another Catalan in Arnau Tenas. Born in Vic, an ancient Catalan city known for its thick fog and freezing temperatures in the winter, Arnau Tenas grew up about an hour from the Camp Nou. He played a local side Vic Riprimer REFO before joining twin brother Marc in the move to La Masia from the 2010-11 season at the Benjamin A level. Yeah, you didn't know he was a twin, did you? Since then, Marc, who is a forward, has gone from La Masia to Canea to Atletico Madrid to Deportiva Alavés B, where he's currently trying to break in. For Arnau, it's been a bit more straightforward. He stayed at La Masia the entire time. He isn't the tallest goalkeeper, but he's always made up for it with crazy reflexes and a calmness under pressure. And by calmness, I mean he takes tons of risks, but never lets it affect him between the ears. He's generally played an age up because of what's between those ears. Now with Barca B, we'll have to wait to see how patient he is for his first opportunity with the first team, because at time of recording, he is 4th on that depth chart. That wraps up the list, but I'll give you 2 bonus ones for good measure. Emre Demir, who is just signed, is a 17-year-old attacking midfielder from Turkey who will join Barca B next July. And if what we've seen from him so far is any indication, he may not be too far away from joining this group. He was born in Mersin in the south of Turkey, and of course, apologies not just on that pronunciation, but all pronunciations. He joined his local side at the age of 6. By the age of 8, he had signed with Kayserispor, one of the larger teams in Turkey, though not one of the big giants. He was actually discovered by the former manager of the side on YouTube. In 2017, he had a trial at La Masia, and while he didn't impress enough to make the move then, Barca kept tabs on him. But a lot of other teams were taking notice too, and he got called up to the first team in 2019, becoming the youngest ever goal scorer in the Turkish First Division at the age of 15 and 9 months. Certainly one to watch. And finally, while his days at Barcelona are likely over, Trincao would have been on this list with his age of 21 if not for that loan to Wolverhampton, which could be made permanent. The winger began his career with hometown club Vaionès before hopping from Vaionès to Porto, back to Vaionès to Braga, a loan to Palmeiras Braga, and back to Braga, where he played for Braga B from 2016 to 2018. It was then in December of 2018 when he made his first team debut, scoring his first goal for the first team in December of the next year. Before he scored too many more, Barcelona swooped in to sign him on the last day of January of 2020 to have him arrive over the summer. And now we wish him best of luck in the Premier League. Not a week go by when Barcelona is not linked to one of the next big young Spanish talents, whether in Catalonia or otherwise. Even if you don't get the chance with Barcelona's first team, because so many of the players that could have been on this list left the club for any number of reasons, you still get an education at La Masia that winds up helping you in your professional journey. Honestly, I only stopped this list because of time. This list could have also included Hunter Oriana, Arnau Camas, Kais Ruiz, Santi Ramos Mingo, Mika Marmol, Irasha Comas, Diego Almeida, Chus Alba, Arnau Casas, or Angel Alarcon. And I'll stop there. All of those players are also between the ages of 17 and 22. So I know things are gloomy with the first team, but I was able to pour myself into this work because I know and you know too that brighter days are definitely ahead. Not every guy we covered will be around in even 2 or 3 years' time. But if, say, 7 of these 14 are around in 5 years, that's probably a good thing for the club, and that probably means that they've done some winning as well. This was a ton of work, so I would appreciate if you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel as we march to 10,000. And as always, until next time, Forza Barca.